Yeah, I'm just talking about how people in Dunedin reacted spontaneously to the news that came by telegram from Wellington that the armistice had been signed.
And the pictures of those massive gatherings in the Octagon, you do see a lot of joy in the face. And you could see why that might be more the case at home, because they hadn't had to face the physical misery of life in the trenches and the deprivations of the soldiers in the field.
There's a key part of the hopefully celebrations missing, and that is the soldiers themselves. And we mustn't forget that 1,831 at least guys from Dunedin didn't make it back. And that's an extraordinary number for a city, 65,000 people at the time about.
So we don't know who the great leaders of the mid-20th century would have been, and the direction they might have taken. Every country could have been quite different, but we lost them, and we don't know now what would have happened with their contribution.
Remember, the other real special problem we had was the lack of bodies. So you're going to grieve, you've got to have a body. And this is why there's so many memorials in New Zealand and Australia, because 80+% in each case are buried somewhere overseas.
After the war, immediately after the war in 1923, in fact, the first party of rich New Zealanders went to the battlefields to see the graves of their loved ones. But they're only the people who could afford that, and there weren't many. They just couldn't afford, the average New Zealander couldn't afford to do it. And so that's why people in New Zealand contributed to these war memorials. They weren't built with public funds generally, or certainly not central government funds, some local government funds, but generally it was donation that led to all these memorials being built.